Hey guys, Toast here. Today we're going to review and discuss the MP18, the starting weapon for the Assault class in Battlefield 1. We're going to discuss the stats of each of the variants, attachments, the situations in which the weapon excels, and some tips when playing with this particular weapon. The MP18 comes in three different variants: Trench, Optical, and Experimental. While the three variants share a number of stats in common, there are some very distinct differences. All three variants have the same maximum damage of 23 and minimum damage of 13.5. They all have the same damage drop-off, featuring maximum damage up to 15 meters, and then slowly tapering off to the minimum damage at 39 meters. This means that they're all 5-shot body shot kills up to 15 meters, dropping off to 8 shots from 39 meters on. The rate of fire for all variants is 550 rounds per minute, making it the lowest rate of fire SMG available to the Assault class, but still higher than any weapon available to other classes, with the one exception being the BAR 1918 for the Support class. The MP18 boasts the fastest muzzle velocity of all SMGs at 480 meters per second, however that's significantly lower than the vast majority of weapons from other classes. Each variant has a magazine size of 32 bullets. The single biggest difference between the variants, and the one that distinctly sets one of the three apart from the others, is that where the Trench and Optical variants are both fully automatic, the Experimental variant is burst fire. All variants are reloaded with a single side-loaded magazine, taking 2.1 seconds to reload with at least one bullet remaining. However, where the Trench and Optical variants take 2.9 seconds to reload when fully empty, the Experimental variant takes 3.3 seconds. You'll also notice a difference in the recoil patterns, where all three will recoil 0.38 degrees up, but the Trench and Optical variants will recoil 0.23 degrees to the left and right, with the Experimental variant recoiling only 0.161 degrees to the left and right. As with most Trench variants in Battlefield 1, the MP18 Trench excels in hipfire spread, regardless of whether you're moving or still, and standing, crouching, or prone. However, an interesting statistic is that instead of being tied with another variant when it comes to ADS fire while still, it actually has the highest spread. The Optical variant has the lowest ADS spread while moving, however, interestingly, the Experimental variant has the lowest ADS spread while standing still. Overall, the attachments available for the different variants are pretty similar. The Trench variant is the only one with iron sights, and the default iron sights are actually pretty good to use. You have the option of equipping a buckhorn iron sight if you wish. The variant has a magnification from 1x up to 2x, and you also have the option of attaching a bayonet for those often frustrating to receive melee kills. You have the option as well of selecting your recoil direction, centered, left, or right, whichever you feel will best help you control the weapon. The Optical variant, similar to other optical variants in the game, provides you with an optical sight, giving you 2 circular reticles and 2 cross reticles. The magnification of this variant ranges from 1.25x up to 2.5x, and you can also attach a bayonet as well as select your recoil direction. The Experimental variant has the same sight as the Optical variant, the same reticle options, as well as the same magnification options of 1.25x up to 2.5x. As with the other two variants, you can also equip a bayonet and select your recoil direction. Each variant is designed for very specific situations. The Trench variant is really your only option for hip firing in very close range situations. While the difference in spread statistically isn't massive, you'll definitely notice a pretty significant advantage while hip firing the Trench variant versus the others. The Optical variant should be your go-to for close to mid-range ADS engagements. The Optical sight will help you better acquire your targets, and the decreased spread while ADS and moving means that you can strafe in your engagements and still maintain your accuracy. The Experimental variant is a bit of a black sheep of the variants. It's burst fire, meaning it won't perform as well in very close range situations like the Trench or Optical variants. However, because it has the same minimum and maximum damage, the same damage drop-off, and the same vertical recoil, it doesn't really excel very well at longer ranges than the Optical. Sure, you have less recoil to the left and right and a lower ADS spread while standing still, however the vertical recoil is severe enough to make this variant challenging to use at the range it seems to be designed to be used. I'm going to come right out of the gate with this one and say don't waste your war bonds on the experimental variant unless you really just want to know what it feels like. Its beneficial stats over the other two variants don't serve the weapon or class playstyle that's required of the MP18. Its biggest benefit is the lower horizontal recoil and still ADS spread, but in all honesty you shouldn't really be standing still with the assault class unless you're lining up an AT rocket gun shot. Otherwise, you're just making yourself a prime target for classes that are significantly better at taking you out at long range than you are them. The weapon's 32 round clip and relatively speedy reload time means that you can miss some shots without too big of a consequence. Don't be afraid to hipfire at ranges that are longer than you would estimate to be effective, especially with the trench variant. You may be surprised at how effective it can be at mid-range while still hipfiring. In a very opposite fashion to the medic, support, and scout weapons, you really only want to engage an enemy when you're close to them. The MP18 is a very capable weapon up to its maximum damage range of 15 meters, but once you get past that, its effectiveness pretty quickly diminishes. Past its minimum damage range, any support, medic, or scout will easily be able to take you out, while you're going to have a difficult time not only landing multiple follow-up shots quickly, but also doing enough damage to be effective. Stick to areas where you'll find tight corridors, small rooms, and other confined spaces. While the other SMGs available to the assault class have better rates of fire, or bigger magazines, or lower recoil, the MP18 is still a really solid all-around weapon for the class. It's competitive enough to continue to be used even after being able to unlock other weapons, and it's versatile enough to allow you to be strong at close range but still capable at mid-range if you pick your targets wisely. Now I want to know how you feel about using the MP18. Do you like the weapon and feel it's viable? Or do you feel that other weapons may be a better choice for the assault class? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Toast, and I'll talk to you soon.